Hi, welcome to my Nuke the Point build video. First thing we'd like to talk about is actually the attributes. Attributes, I run 360 intelligence, 150 con. If it's a war, I tend to run 310 intelligence and 200 con for the survivability because of the amount of archers and whatnot. So obviously we want to max out as much intelligence as we can because we want to maximize the damage from the abilities Meteor Shower and Ice Storm for damage, and we want to at least have the minus 10% critical damage taken because of bows and muskets. So gear is relatively easy. The two big abilities you want on your fire staff is Refreshing Move to get out as many fireballs and meteor showers as you can, and Empowering Fireball for when they're right in your face, or if they're CC'd enough, you could drop a fireball for as much as 7 to 8k damage for a crit. I like Unbroken Winds on my Ice Gauntlet. One person that uses this build actually has Healing Tomb, but Unbroken Wind is actually better in my opinion because of the fact that when something is down or when you get caught by a melee or a bruiser in some form or fashion, you have the opportunity to kill them, or at least scare them enough, dealing enough damage to make them run away and not following you around. Because your Ice Storm actually has a slowing capability, I tend to put on Malachite in my Ice Gauntlet to increase the damage by 12%. I like to double dip my fire staff with a tier 2 aquamarine, specifically for the fact that you could actually deal more than that converted amount of damage because they're taking more damage if they already took ice damage from Ice Shower or Ice Storm, and they take more damage when CC'd on top of that, and it over converts intelligence. So because of the perks you're going to get from the weapon, you increase the damage even more. I try to get on my gear sets resilient on every piece of gear I can. Refreshing is a big one that you want to try and stack if you can. Any type of aversions for survivability, but the two biggest ones you want on your gear set specifically, and not your weapons, are Empower Meteor Shower and Unending Thaw. The reason why you want Unending Thaw and Empower Meteor Shower and your gear and not your weapons to increase the damage just a little bit more, specifically because if you swap weapons, that perk is still active because it's on your gear. It's something I've tested multiple times just to make sure it actually stays. So if you actually lead off with a Meteor Shower because Ice Shower is down, your Empower Meteor Shower, the Empower you receive from your Meteor Shower will actually stay when you swap weapons, unlike a lot of other weapon perks. Same thing with Unending Thaw. If your Ice Shower is out and you swap to your fire staff, then the Unending Thaw is on your gear set. It will continue to tick higher than if it was not on your weapon. Than if it was on your weapon and then you decided to swap. Gear sets, I tend to take Champion's Ring. This is a very nimble play style. You shouldn't die a lot in OPRs and Wars. I mean, it's war, you're gonna die. It's an OPR, you're gonna die, but I tend to get 2 deaths tops because of the escape mechanic between Ice Tomb and Burnout. So I run with the Champion's Ring to, as I get kills, it increases the damage. Hardy is a must, Keen is a must. Gotta have those. My weapons both have Keen on them because it helps, but it's not needed if you're just putting the build together. I've been working on this gear set for months, so if you don't have Keen right away, it's still going to deal a lot of damage even without the Keen. For my necklace, I tend to take health and refreshing, this particular necklace I rolled, Divine was just a must. That third perk, you could put anything there that you want, that you feel you need. I'd love to have refreshing toast, but hey, it happens. Earrings. I like refreshing and healthy toast. Nimble is just a plus for me because you want to be able to dodge quickly. And hardy actually lets you dodge twice without being exhausted, which actually kind of helps. So you could ice tomb, dodge, and then use burnout just to get far enough away to get the cast time animation to go all the way through for burnout. Usually by that time you could dodge again. Most melee will just say screw you and run off and try to kill somebody else. So I run nimble to help that regeneration. And like I said, you want to stack as much resilient as you can. I run onyx on my gems to avoid I keep saying it, bows and muskets are a real killer for this build, but you get caught by a sword and board hatchet or a spear user. Spear hatchet is another one that I've seen. A warhammer spear is another one that I've seen that seems to be coming up quite often. So having that extra 15% almost damage resistance to that type of damage, melee damage, really helps. I currently run malachites in here. Originally I ran opals until I got two items that had elemental aversions. The elemental aversion, and I think it's on my helmet, elemental aversion. This is good. Healing tomb, 18%. It's a free heal. It's not a lot, but it's a decent amount. Obviously I don't want refreshing word, but currently can't really find anything that has one of the other aversions. I'd love to have another physical aversion. That would actually complete this build for me. Alright, moving on to weapon mastery talents. We'll start off with the fire staff. Now, burnout, we want to try and get as far away from them as possible, so go all the way down the tree to heat it up. And we have to actually get there, so I took, if you're below max health, you deal 50% increased damage. You shouldn't drop max health because you should be far enough away, but it happens, so that little damage boost really helps. When you get caught in a melee fight with somebody and your burnout is down and they actually get you to half health, a fireball to the face and then a wind chill to the face will either kill them or make them think twice and run like hell. This is always good. Any type of fortify to increase your damage resistance is amazing. Burning lasts 20% longer. I took this because you're going to be constantly getting off those light attacks to set burning status on people while using refreshing move to actually get your fireball and your meteor shower up faster. And the last point, I didn't know what to do, so I took watch it burn, just because if they're in that AoE and they take a crit hit from meteor shower, they'll also get burning damage. Okay, moving on to the fire mage side. Anytime you want to a heavy attack, again, faster. Combine this with refreshing move is also amazing. Obviously, you're going to go all the way down the meteor shower. You're going to go all the way down fireball. I took clear mind just because it's another empower, and between all the dodges from the 250 intelligence perk, you should have 75% mana plus almost all the time. If not, you could always pop a mana pot, which are extraordinarily cheap on most servers at this point. Light attacks inflicts burning. We went through that already. Anytime you want to deal extra crit chance, you take it. Simple as that. And while holding a fire staff, if you do crit, your damage goes up 15%. The reason I did not take the runes is because you should be very mobile, and yeah, it's nice, you drop and you get another 25% increase in your damage, but you're going to get 1 or 2 shots off before you have to move. Usually when people seeing you stand still to cast meteor shower, they're on you like flies on shit to begin with, so you gotta get out of there quick. So this is just a wasted point. That's why I put a point in to watch it burn. Ice Gauntlet. We want Ice Storm. Yeah, Ice Storm, we took Critical Rejuvenation and Energized Critical, and the reason why we have these specific perks is because we want to be able to get Wind Chill and go all the way down to get Ultimate Chill. This is the reason why you put that tier 2 gem into the Fire Staff, because they get chilled and then they take more damage from the Fire Staff conversion to ice damage. Entombed is fantastic. The reason why I take the Entombed is I use it as a escape mechanic. So when you get caught in that grab wall, when you get CC'd by Scream, you pop that. Usually people will blow all their cooldowns, and you could either dodge out of it, or you can just wait for it to get destroyed, or time out. But the melee seem to go in, CC you once. If they CC you once, usually it's a stun. The biggest thing is the shield bash. They'll get that stun off, they'll try to get an attack off, they'll get one attack and you hit Entomb, and then their other attacks will have no effect on you, and then you can roll out, burn out, and by that time they're not going to follow you anymore. At least that's been my experience. So we took on, we had to get down to Entomb, so we took blocking stamina and empowered frost, just in case we have to actually cast the Ice Storm on ourselves, because there's a melee there and Entombed is down. We actually have to go one-on-one. Little bit of mana regen, not a big deal. Frozen touch, enemies that hit you are slowed by 25% for 2 seconds. That goes along with getting away, because this is not a one-to-one fight. This is not a dueling build. This is specifically for nuking the point, dealing as much damage overall rather than burst damage. It really pisses off a lot of healers. So, and you get a ton of damage, as you saw in the intro. Defiant Freeze, casting Gauntlet increases an ice hardened layer, gives you 20%. It helps. It helps when you're using Wind Chill. You could actually put this anywhere. If you have a gear set that has a bunch of shirking fortification on it, that would probably be better than this, and this only lasts 2 seconds. 2 seconds is 1 or 2 hits from a melee. Alright everybody, thanks for stopping in. If you haven't done so, please like the video, subscribe. I just started posting YouTube videos. My primary stuff is on Twitch, even though I'm relatively new to Twitch. If you want to pop over there, Wizardhood 2003, Twitch TV, give me a follow, stop in, roast my builds and my skills. I try to run different builds than the metas that actually are playable and useful, so it'd be nice to have you in. Take care.